Commerce, also better known as M-Commerce, is waiting to grab your attention and get you hooked, just like internet banking. And we definitely want all of you watching 30 Minutes to be up to date on all smart ways to deal with your money. So today we'll take you through a short reckoner on how to use your nifty little mobile to make life easier. Your mobile, your wallet, that's what we're talking about.
That's right, and I've been behind the curve in terms of getting on top of this new thing which is happening in
everybody
money.
above 30 is behind the curve. It's the younger ones who are taking to it much faster.
True, it's only recently when I was out with a friend and he was demonstrating what you can do with this, and he in 30 seconds transferred 50 rupees towards paying my mobile bill. So not only did I have breakfast free, I also got 50 bucks towards my mobile bill.
Wow.
So, but more seriously, there is much more that you can do. You can pay for your toll bridge, you can recharge that, you can pay life insurance premium, you can pay your mobile bills, utility bills. So there's a whole host of services that you can use your cell phone for. And the new technology we're talking about is simply the mobile gateway. What is it? It's marrying your bank account with your cell phone. That is what is happening. Right. And there are pretty much two ways in which it's happening today. One is really it's an extension of your prepaid card. So the idea began from there. If you could charge your mobile in advance and then debit the amount you had used, you could possibly do it for a whole host of other products and services you can buy. So that's really a virtual wallet. The second thing really is linking your mobile through a unique PIN to your credit or debit card into your bank account. So your wallet is now really in your hand in the form of a cell phone, and it's pretty unique because India is really ahead of the curve. There is Japan and India behind that.
Basically, India is being used as the experimenting ground for M-Commerce because of being the second largest base in terms of mobile. Right. So that automatically gives them that much of more leeway in terms of how the product is going to be used and accepted. Totally. Of course, we'll come back to the fact that it's as usable as the vendor acceptance, in the sense that the companies on the other side, the restaurants on the other side, all also have to get and register themselves onto the payment gateway for you to be able to make payments to them. But here's a quick demo from M-Check on how you can use a mobile payment facility. Let's tell you, step 1, you need to register with any mobile payment service. This can happen on the net. You can also go onto the website of any payment gateway, M-Check, OxyPay, and there are several others. We list them out for you. You enter your mobile number. You could also get a friend to forward you a link on the handset rather. Download the required software, and step 2, that's what you need to do. You register with the service for which you need to give your name and address, and then you create your own PIN and select the merchants that you want to transact with. Then you go ahead and transact. That's it. It's that simple. Well, it does look simple, doesn't it? But is it really that useful? Prashant K. Roy, Chief Editor of Cyber Media, joins us from Mumbai studio to give us a lowdown. Prashant, thank you. So good to have you in the show. Let's start with the first question. It's easy enough to register for mobile payments, but what all can I do with it?
Well, you can make payments, and you can make payments pretty fast. And the first, most obvious place to start is really the phone bill. So quite a few of them actually started there, that if you have a prepaid card to recharge or even a postpaid thing to pay, then it should be as simple as, sending an SMS or, getting onto that application and say pay, and this is the amount, and go ahead and pay. From there on, all kinds of other things like the tollway tag and insurance and things like that. So you can actually pay for a pretty wide range of services now through the various mobile payment services.
Prasanto, how safe is these transactions? We are looking at using the mobile phone and linking it to our credit card or the bank account. So how safe are these transactions, and what sort of guidelines are there right now?
In terms of safety, what I'd put it this way, I think it's reasonably safe. It's linked to your phone identity, and of course the phone can get stolen, but there are checks for that, because then if it gets stolen, you will report it, you will have it blocked and things like that. The guidelines are pretty clear. They restrict the level and the type and the quantum of transactions. So for example, if you have to send cash to somebody, the RBI guideline says, I think 5,000 rupees a day. is the kind of limit. So I think it is reasonably safe because this is one instrument which is completely connected with your identity. And so, the system actually takes that identity and uses that to validate and verify. Of course, beyond that, there's also a PIN for many of these applications, or even for some of the SMS-based transactions, you may need to enter a PIN. So that adds a second factor of authentication. And the quantum of transactions is limited. These are normally lower value kind of transactions. So I think it's pretty okay. I think it's good.
All right. Prashant, just a quick question. How do you see the increase of usability? I mean, some of the things you can already do, like paying off insurance premium, depends on actually what your vendor really provides. But going forward, how many people do you think will adopt this in terms of the vendors, on the vendor side?
I think that question is linked very critically to what is the level of support for the highest common factor of phone usage, which means that, every phone should be supported. Now, some of the services don't do that. Some of them require GPRS, require an application to be downloaded, and a couple of them, MCheck has done this, and maybe some of the others are headed that way, of allowing SMS-based transaction. Now, when that happens, potentially all the 300 million plus mobile users can actually use that. And if it is really simple, for instance, if you get an alert saying that your premium is lapsed or something or the other, and you can just send back an SMS with this format to make the payment, then a lot of people are going to use it. So
Right.
just one of these services has 1 million plus registrations, and I think that's the sign of things to come, that you're going to have millions of users.
All right, and the costs, important to understand how much are you out of pocket when using this service?
Nothing ideally, and in fact most of them don't charge you, they do, some of them do charge you for certain types of transactions, just the way, in a credit card transaction where the other party, like a petrol pump, may not be willing to bear the 2% transaction charge, you're sometimes asked to bear that. However, in many cases, the transaction charge, there is a small transaction fee which is borne from the merchant establishment or the vendor side. So the user actually does not land up paying.
So sum up for us, 3 points why 30 Minutes to Wealth viewers should be using this.
I think tremendous convenience, absolute convenience of being able to pay when you need to. For instance, I was traveling out of the country somewhere, got a reminder that my policy had lapsed, but I could simply send an SMS to do the payment. I sent that SMS, and within 10 seconds that policy had been revived. So it is unbeatable. The convenience of that, you cannot match it with trying to go to a cyber cafe or whatever, or trying to log in on your computer. So that is clearly one thing. A reasonable amount of security. It's really safer than carrying a lot of cash and then having to pay for all kinds of things through that route. I think these are fairly strong reasons. The biggest thing is going to be convenience. From the industry point of view, the big factor is, of course, the sheer volume of mobile phones, the sheer base of mobile phones, 300 million plus, 25% of the population. I mean, there is no other technology medium that has that reach. So it's a given. This has to be the, it's going to be beyond credit cards. It's going to, the reach is beyond that. So I think these are very, very strong reasons why this is the future. We're going to see a lot of mobile-based payments happening.
Well, Prashanto, good to have you in the studio anytime, and thank you for that lowdown. Monica, Prashanto, of course, mentioned about the safety of the product, but are you convinced it's safe enough?
It's still very early days, and though there is actually RBI guidelines out there, it's still very, very early days. Now, RBI guidelines are out for the mobile banking, and you will have to have a bank account to be able to use that. There is a daily cap of 10,000 rupees and a per transaction cap of 5,000 rupees. For the virtual wallet, RBI has again taken it under its own jurisdiction. The draft guidelines are out, and pretty much it is still very early days. So the service today will work fine till it works fine, but in case there's a problem, there is still regulatory gray area out there.
All right, well, let's hope the PIN at least secures all your transactions. And now let's give you all the options available today for mobile payment. There's MCheck, of course, and you saw the demo on it. You can link it to your credit card, debit card or bank account. And then there's Mera Mobi, linked again to all three. That's debit, credit and bank account. OboPay, that's linked to bank account. OxyPay is a virtual wallet, and Paymate is linked to your bank account as well as being a virtual wallet. NGPay linked to HDFC Bank, credit and debit card. Well, those are your options, and you can go on to any of these websites and register yourself for a mobile payment gateway and